Hello, my name is Roland Vasey, and in this presentation I will give you a brief introduction to business analysis. So what are we going to cover as part of this presentation? First, I'd like to look at the definition of business analysis. What is it and what is it used for? Next, I would like to have a look with you at the value of business analysis and what happens when businesses do not spend enough time on the business analysis phase. Subsequently, I would like to take you through two case studies. And last but not least, we're going to have an overview of what we have learned during this presentation.
So what is business analysis? If we take the definition as provided by the Institute of Business Analysis, the IIBA, then they say, business analysis is the practice of enabling change in an organizational context by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to its stakeholders. If we look at this statement in a little bit more detail, then we can identify several keywords that could be clarified further. For example, enabling change. What is meant with that? Well, it effectively means that the organization will launch a project to enable such a change. Most of the work that we do is part of a project, and no matter its size, it will change our organization. Defining needs. What are needs? In the context of this definition, a need could be anything that a person determines is required by the organization to function properly. That need is subsequently defined in more detail by a business analyst or a team of business analysts, and the output will be a detailed description of those needs and is usually referenced as business requirements. Finally, the organization addresses those requirements by launching a project with the aim to implement the business requirements within the organization. Recommending solutions. What are solutions? The goal of a solution is to fulfill the business requirements as defined in the previous phase. Solutions could include introducing a new IT system or replacing an old, outdated IT system by a new IT system. It could also refer to new system features, so introducing new functionality in existing systems. But it could also mean the introduction and adoption of new business processes and or policies within the organization. Or, for example, setting up a training program for employees, partners or customers. All these are examples of solutions. Stakeholders. Deliver value to stakeholders. What are stakeholders? In short, a stakeholder is any individual or group of individuals that are part of the organization or are interacting with the organization. So examples of these include, but are not limited to, employees, suppliers, customers, regulators, or partner businesses. So in order to assess the value of the business analysis phase, we could look at what happens if a business or organization is not enabling change, so it doesn't launch any projects, stays static, is not identifying its needs or finding solutions to the needs, or finding solutions that meet the needs of its stakeholders. The organization wouldn't progress and would lose ground to its competitors. That could ultimately lead to loss of customers, increase in costs, and drop in revenues. The outcome of a project is strongly dependent on the time allocated to the business analysis phase. So in other words, the effectiveness of the final solution will depend on the quality and the level of detail of the business requirements. To illustrate this, I'm showing you this cartoon in which the business analyst asks the developers to start coding. It means work on the solution, while he still needs to talk to the stakeholders to establish the needs and find out the requirements. That's obviously the wrong way around, and the solution that will be delivered is unlikely to meet the need of its stakeholders. In the next section, we will be looking at 2 real-life case studies where companies were not doing well. The first step is to establish what the problem is and why the company is not doing as well as it should do. This is actually a fundamental part of the business analysis phase and often overlooked or done too quickly. The second part is to recommend possible solutions to address the problem and improve the situation. So in case study A, we've got company XYZ, which is losing customers due to poor customer service. So in the first phase, where we establish the problem, we have to do the analysis to obtain a better understanding, and then involved getting detailed feedback from current and former customers. Interview customer service team members, analyze customer interaction data, and observe live calls between customer service team members and the customers. After the analysis has been completed, possible recommendations for solutions included company XYZ investing in more training for the customer service team, creating a customer self-service portal where customers could help themselves, could create cases themselves, log cases themselves, and find solutions to their problems, and increase the number of customer service staff, thereby reducing the waiting time for customers. So in case study B, we're dealing with company ABC, which is experiencing slow growth due to the lack of an online portal. The analysis phase to obtain a better understanding of the problem included interviewing internal and external stakeholders, establishing the features and functionality that are required in the new portal, how these features would work, and how the online portal fits together with the other existing channels. So the possible recommendations for a solution included company ABC launching a project to create a new portal, including the features that were established as part of the analysis phase, and the portal which needs to meet all the stakeholders' requirements. So what have we learned about business analysis from this presentation? Well, we've looked in detail at the definition of business analysis based on a statement as given by the International Institute of Business Analysis, the IIBA. We've analyzed the different elements in the definition and have acquired a good understanding of these elements that make up the business analysis phase. We also looked at the value of business analysis and the potential fallout for companies and organizations if they ignore or do not spend sufficient time on the business analysis phase. We concluded by looking into 2 real-life case studies in which business analysis played a key role to establish why companies were not doing as well as they could and should do, and we came up with possible solutions to improve their businesses. I would like to thank you for your interest and look forward to receiving your questions.